cell in you has got its job to do in the human body symphony. Together they join in to play their parts in perfect harmony. They play in perfect harmony in the wondrous human body symphony. The heart pumps the blood with perfection, creating a strong rhythm section. Piping the air in and out is what respiration's about. Your stomach, intestines, and liver. The digestive system, you see, gives the orchestra its energy. The muscular tone, supported by bones, gives structure and flow wherever you go. And need I explain your fabulous brain? The parts large and small conducts one and all.
Happy Halloween, children. I know all of you all must be thinking it's not Halloween and ma'am is wishing us a happy Halloween today. But can you guess? Already ma'am has revealed what I'm going to talk about to all of you all today. So it's called as Skelly Welly Mr. Funny Bones. All of us must have watched the plastic skeleton in museums, right? So today we are going to talk about our skeleton, how important it is, what is its job, and why do we really need the skeleton, and what are the different bones that we have in our body. So one of our super important job of our skeleton is to hold our body up. Our muscles are strong, but they need a frame, something that they need to hold on to. Without a skeleton, we would be all loosey goosey. And it goes both ways. Without our muscles, our skeleton would just be a pile of bones. So, our bones give shape that differentiates us from other living things and allows us to walk, run, or even jump. An adult has 206 bones, and each bone has been given a name. Some are the skull that protects our brain, the spine that keeps us stable and upright, jaw that allows to move our mouth and chew our food, the ribs that protects the important organs of our body, that is the heart and lungs, and the femur, which is also the longest bone in our body. So bones are joined with each other by joints, and they are divided into three groups depending on their level of mobility. That is immobile or fixed joints, semi-mobile joints, and mobile joints. So when it comes to immobile joints, what are immobile joints? They do not have mobility. That is, they cannot move, just like our skull. Semi-mobile joints, they have some movement in them, but not a lot, like our backbone, that is the vertebrae. The mobile joints, they have great mobility, like our elbow or the knee. So we have two different kinds of bones, children. They are the axial bone, which consists of around 80 bones which protect the important organs and it helps to keep us upright. And we have the appendicular bones that helps us to move around like the shoulder blades, the limbs, and the pelvis. Now, despite the variations in size, shape, and finer functions, all these bones have similar internal structures, children. They all have a dense, smooth looking external layer of compact or cortical bone around a porous, honeycomb looking area of spongy bone. This spongy bone tissue is made up of tiny cross hatching support called as trabeculae that helps the bone resist stress, and it is where the bone marrow is found. This bone marrow is of two different colors, that is the red and yellow. Red is the one that makes the blood cells in our bones, and yellow stores energy as fat. Now, which is the part of the body which has more number of bones? Out of the 206 bones that an adult has, 52 of them are found in our feet, and 54 are found in the hands. More than half of the bones we have are found in our hands and in our feet. That sums up to 106 bones in our hands and feet. Now, you all must be wondering which is the longest and which is the smallest bone in our body. As I already said, the femur bone is the longest one and it is the strongest one also in our body. The femur goes from our hip to our knee. And when we run, jump, walk, or even stand still, a lot of the weight of our body falls on the femur. Now, when it comes to the smallest bone in our body, the smallest bone in our body, you wouldn't have even imagined it, but it is found in our ear. This little bone, which is called as stapes, looks kind of like a stirrup, which you find on the saddle of a horse. Even in adults, it's only about the size of a grain of rice. But this tiny bone has a big job to do. When sound enters your ear, they make this little bone move back and forth. Those vibrations are what our ears pick up as sound. So, without this tiny little bone, all of us wouldn't have been able to hear. Okay, now, who has the most number of bones? I'm sure all of you all would have unmuted yourself and you all would have said that it would have been an adult. But a baby has more number of bones than an adult. A baby has around 300 bones approximately. And newborns have some split bones, but over time, some of them join until they reach 206 bones, which is the same as an adult skeleton. I wanted to share with you all how when a person fractures their bones, how the fractures are healed and what are the different things in our body that play a vital part to heal our bones. There are many different types of bone fractures, such as when a bone is shattered in many pieces, a linear fracture, a displaced fracture when the bone is misaligned, or an oblique fracture when it has a slope pattern. So a doctor will always treat us according to these fractures. So let's take a simple fracture. So first, look at a simple fracture. First, we have the osteoblasts. They build up the bone tissue. And osteoclasts are next and they break down the bone tissue. Chondroblasts build up cartilage tissue. Fibroblasts, they produce collagen fibers. All of these cells play important roles in the healing process. So let's say a bone breaks. When it breaks, the blood vessels run down the bone. So the first thing that happens is bleeding, which leads to a blood clot formation. The area will also swell up. Phagocytes, which are white blood cells, will come in and help clean up the area by removing the dead cells and any germs that have entered the area. Now, as the blood clot reduces, osteoclasts appear and take care of the dead bone fragments. Next, a fibrocartilage tissue is formed, and the chondroblast, which holds the broken ends together, is formed. The osteoclast and fibroclast begin their work at this time as well. The fibrocartilage tissue that is formed is called the soft callus, which hardens into a bony callus. This usually results in excessive bone tissue. So the osteoclast reabsorbs some of the extra tissue. When this happens, the process is finished and is usually not 100% perfect. And we see a slight bump still remaining at the spot of the break. The fracture is then healed and it is healthy. Some things that can impair the healing process that include poor blood supply, poor general health, and infections, age as younger bones heal faster, and the type of break it is. One thing that we can do and help our body recover from a broken bone is to eat plenty of nutrient rich food, such as fruits and veggies. The healing process requires a lot of energy. So, increasing food consumption with the help of fruits and vegetables because they are filled with vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. So, this will aid in the recovery of our bones. There are other foods that will help our bones grow stronger and be healthy. Let's watch this video and find out what those different types of foods are that we can include to make our bones very strong. So, children, lastly, I would say Sunday hoya Monday, rose khao ande. So, if you want your bones to be stronger, include lots and lots of milk products every day and make sure you're eating eggs and the fruits and vegetables that have been mentioned.